Hello, fellow peasants. Tonight I'll be sharing with you my own personal ghost stories. Alright, guys. Let's get it started. So, I'm going to go through a list of experiences I've had with ghostly type shit. I'm not a huge believer in ghosts or anything, but there's been some weird, creepy crap that's happened to me in my day. And so I'm going to share some stories with you. And so I'm going to start all the way from the very beginning, from the earliest to the most current things that I remember. Alright, so the first incidents I remember of like a ghost-like thing is I had a friend over at my house in high school, and the way we were watching TV is I was sitting on the couch facing the TV, and he was on the part of the L section couch where he was facing the TV, but he could also see behind me in the hallway in the kitchen. And we're watching TV, and all of a sudden I see him turn and look, and his eyes got real big, and his mouth got gaped open, and he was like, "Oh crap! Oh fuck!" You know what I mean? And I was like, "What? And he runs out of the house, and I run out on the front porch, and he said he saw a shadow figure, like a silhouette of somebody, come from down the hall, and the silhouette wrapped around the corner and went into the kitchen. And so, yeah, super creepy. This was at my parents' house, by the way. Also, at my parents' house, I was home one time around Christmas time by myself. I think I was watching TV or something, and all of a sudden the Christmas tree shimmied. Like it just shook. It just shimmied for no reason. And I'm not talking like shook like a bulb fell. I'm talking like someone like violently shook it, and it went on for maybe, I don't know, 20 seconds. And then it was over. Next thing is, so there's a cemetery in Chillicothe where this girl was hung in the cemetery. Everyone, the story goes that she was a witch or something, and they hung her in the tree there in the cemetery, and her name was Elizabeth. And so me and my cousin, I think maybe one of his friends, I can't remember, maybe it was me and both my cousins, Aaron and Michael. We went out to Elizabeth's grave, and we're out there messing around. It's nighttime. We get back in my car, and the volume, this is before you had the fancy settings in the car. This is back when you couldn't just hit the button and turn the volume up on the steering wheel or anything. You had to manually crank you had to manually turn the volume knob on the dash. And we get in the car, and the volume is probably at level 1 or 2. And then all of a sudden it just cranks all the way up. I'm talking almost to where you could bust the speakers. And I didn't touch a damn thing. No one touched it. No one touched the volume. Super creepy. Next story. So I moved to a house in Nelsonville, Ohio, and most of the stories take place at this house. This house was creepy as fuck, and it started right away. So we all moved into this house. And even the construction guys who were still finishing stuff up in the attic were they called. So there were these closets up in the attic. The attic in the house, it was an older house. The attic had just had been remodeled and made into an extra bedroom where some of us were going to stay. And there were still construction guys there working on these, doing some work up in there. And there was these closets, these like little, I don't know how to describe it, but there were closets up there in the attic. And the guys who kept doing the work, they were still working on the attic up there, told us, one, the bathroom upstairs in that attic, that the shower was on multiple times. Someone was turning the water on and letting the shower run. 2, they called the closets cousinette closets because they kept hearing weird banging sounds and weird sounds coming from those closets while they were up there. We went to Walmart one night. All my friends, we went to the Walmart there in Athens, and we came back, and every door in the house, I'm talking every door in the house, wasn't just cracked open, halfway open, they were wide open. Now, not the front door or the back door, but all the doors inside the house. All the bedroom doors, closet doors, bathroom doors, those were all wide open. Nobody really knows why. The upstairs attic was originally supposed to be my room when I first moved in. There was a handful of us that got there first before other people did, and so some people were still at home for the summer. They didn't come back to school till the fall. Anyway, so I'm up there. I'm recording music. I record music for a hobby. And anyway, I've got headphones blasting. I'm up there mixing a song, and I hear this blood-curdling scream over my headphones. Like, it sounded like a girl screaming her lungs out, and it was loud enough that I could hear it over the music blasting in my headphones. And that just creeped the crap out of me, and I was like, I'm not staying up here. I'm going to sleep in the bedroom downstairs. So I traded like a really big room upstairs for this closet basically downstairs, because I was just freaked the fuck out. Later, when people did move in, other students came in, other friends came to live with us. We never told our one friends, Heather and Brian, about what was going on. We just didn't really mention it. And one day Heather came to us and she said she was brushing her teeth in the bathroom, and in the mirror behind her she saw a silhouette in the shower behind her, and the silhouette's head stretched up to where it hit the ceiling and started to bend, like the crease where the wall meets the ceiling in the shower there. Like, it started standing up or stretching or something like that, to where its head hit the ceiling and started, going onto the shadow went onto the ceiling at that point. Super creepy shit. Heather also found a sewing needle and a red piece of sewing thread in the sole of her shoe. And so the red thread was actually put through the eye of the needle, tied, and the needle was woven in to the sole of the shoe. No one in the house had sewing materials. No one knew where the needle or the thread came from at all. One night I came home from my parents' house. My friend Nevin was back in town. He didn't really believe a whole lot of what was going on. He was very skeptical of the whole thing. He said that, I came home. I walked in the door. He had M&Ms without me blasting. And so I come in like, yeah, this looks like a good job for me, so everybody. And I was grooving to it, and he's vacuuming while he's blasting this song. And he hears me come up behind him singing the song. He fucking loses it. He's scared as shit. I'm like, what's your problem, dude? And he said I had to turn the music on and start sweeping because I couldn't take the noise anymore. I'm like, what are you talking about? He said, well, first, the water in the sink in the kitchen the water kept turning on by itself. And then he said noise from the attic, that bedroom been getting upstairs, noise from up there. He said it sounded like someone was getting the fuck beat out of them. It sounded like someone was getting thrown against a wall violently, and it wouldn't stop. The sound would not stop. So he was just freaked out, and so he just was playing loud music. Now, where the creepiest part comes in is, so we said, okay, what's going on up in this bedroom? So we all decided we're going to take a camera and we're going to film up there. But before we filmed up there, we're like, what's on the other side? Because half the attic was finished and remodeled, and the other half was just still empty attic. So we went up there probably in the middle of August. We went up there in the middle of August. Now, mind you, I live in Ohio. August in Ohio was still pretty hot. It can get up 95, 96 degrees or higher. Very humid in Ohio. And so it's the middle of August. We go over into the unfinished side of the unfinished side of the attic, and it's freezing cold. It is cold. Now, I've never been or heard of an attic that's cold in the summer, but it was. It was colder than the side that was finished that actually had air conditioning, and that air conditioner was kind of a piece of shit. I'm pretty sure it was just a window unit, from what I remember. Anyway, super cold in there. We took photos. There was like orb-looking crap in those photos. There were handprints and fingerprints, tiny handprints and fingerprints all over the ductwork back in there. Because we took flashlights and shined it around. Because it was pitch black in there, you know. And we did this during the broad daylight. I mean, this isn't even nighttime. When the sun's down, it should be cooler. We did this in the middle of the fucking day, up there in the attic, and it's freezing cold. So after that, we decided, okay, let's get a camera out and let's film. Let's leave the door open to where the finished part meets the unfinished. Let's leave the door open, set the camera on the bathtub, and film what goes on in this bathroom, if anything, while we're asleep at night. And the next morning, we filmed, we did it all on a VHS tape, and hours go by, and over time, the bathroom slowly, at first all you can see is the camera light in the room. And then over time, it slowly gets this like angelic white glow to the whole entire bathroom. And there's golf ball sized orbs floating around in that bathroom. Now, I've seen bugs fly in front of cameras before, and and the light from the lens or whatever reflects, and it creates this isn't what I'm talking about. I've seen that. And I know that dust particles can make similar effects. But I'm talking golf ball sized things with tails on the end, floating around. They look like giant sperm or some shit, floating around in that bathroom. And then at some point in the video, I think, I don't know, it's way later in the video. It cuts out, and clear as day on the video, it says, or somebody says, in a really staticky type voice, it says, "We're on video." Yeah, and so, really, really, really fucking creepy. And that doesn't end there. Then a girl that lived with us, she took her Sony memo recorder one night and asked it questions up in the room. And she asked, "What's your name?" And it said Edmund. And I think it said its age, maybe. I don't want to say whether it did or not. I think it did. And then at the end of the tape, it started talking like, it sounded like a little girl speaking French or something really weird. But when it said its name, Edmund, like it was so clear that my friend who was taking a shit on the other side of the house in the bathroom heard it say it when we were playing it over the sound system. Like, it wasn't like he just heard something, because obviously it was loud. We're playing it over the sound system in the house. But he didn't just hear a noise. We all collectively heard it say Edmund. And I don't think there was much else that happened there after that, not to my knowledge. I'm trying to remember, but I don't think there was anything else after that. Now, in the apartment I moved into after that house, the girl I lived with, she said that her apartment was haunted. So I'm moving from one place that's haunted into another, right? And she had a friend who was over. There was a huge in the hospitality major there. You know, we had a lot of people, a lot of students from the Caribbean. So a lot of Jamaicans and people from down around that area went to school there for hospitality. And so her one friend came over, and she said something about, like, my roommate said, yeah, the cat keeps staring at the ceiling. She keeps looking up at the corner up in the ceiling for some reason. And I remember the girl looking, she looks at us, and she says, "That's where the dead crawl." And I remember thinking, what the fuck did I get? Why did I move in here? You know, that's where the dead crawl. Like, how creepy is that, right? And so, over time, Jen moved out of the apartment, and another girl moved in with me, and that's when a couple really creepy things happened. So, one night, I was by myself. Lydia was out of town. I was home by myself, and I was getting ready to go to bed. And so I shut everything off in the kitchen and the living room, and I go to bed and I lay down. And I'm laying on my side, and I always face the door. And I see the hall light flick on outside my bedroom door. And I wasn't going to go check. I was like, fuck that. So I just went to bed. Super creepy. Now the next creepy thing is, because Lydia was always out of town. She worked at a restaurant up in Columbus, off and on, when she wasn't at school. And so I never knew if she was coming or going. She was always in and out of the house at all times. But one day I was in the bathroom, and I'm combing my hair or something like that. I don't know. I was combing my hair. I was doing something in the mirror. And in the mirror, I see Lydia walk behind me. Right? She walks past the bathroom door and goes towards her bedroom door. Right? And I didn't think anything of it for about 5 or 10 minutes. And I'm walking out of the bathroom, done in the bathroom, I'm in the kitchen or whatever, and I think to myself, fuck, Lydia's not here. Lydia's in Columbus. Lydia's 60 miles away or more. And sure as shit, she was not in that apartment, and that bedroom door was not opened. Ever. She was not in the apartment. And I saw her walk behind me, clear as day. Super creepy. The next place I moved to seemed to be not quite as creepy, but it was still creepy. There was an eerie feeling in my closet. I moved up to Columbus, went to Ohio State, and I had a walk-in closet in my room, and really creepy, really bad creepy vibes in that closet. And one night I was working at Hollister. I folded clothes like third shift. So I'm working at Hollister. It's third shift. And my friend texts me. He's like, dude, what the fuck? And I'm like, what? And he said, cause there were two closets in my room. There was a walk-in, and then there was a smaller closet that was next to his bedroom. And he said it sounded like, once again, somebody making noise, getting the fuck beat out of them, some weird sounds going on in that closet. Now, he might have been high as shit. I don't know. But I believe that he heard it because he was super legit creeped out. One night I was recording music there. I'm playing the keyboard or something, and I hear a closet door open. And the closet door in the hall opened by itself. It wasn't open. I know that it wasn't open. I heard it open. It was a steel closet. It was one of those foldable, two-piece foldable metal closets. You know what I mean? Like a panel type thing, metal panels. One night I'm playing with a online Ouija board. It's like a website. It's like a Ouija board that is online. You type in your answers, or you type in your questions, and it gives you answers. And I asked it, I said, what's your name? And it said Edmund. I shit you not, it said Edmund, which was the name of the ghost from the one house that I lived at. And so that creeped me out. And that was about it, I think, at that house, at that apartment. Not much happened. Now, the next place we moved to had some creepy stuff, like the basement had like we took some photos down there in the basement, and there were some orbs and like faces in the orbs and stuff like that. Very creepy vibe. One night when I was laying in bed, because this was an old Victorian home in around downtown, down by like South Campus at Ohio State, and I'm laying in bed, and I see these black little shadow things moving around the edge of my bed. And so we had that going on there. My friend said he went to the bathroom one night, and the comb on the back of the toilet moved by itself. There were a lot of creepy things going on down in that basement. The creepiest thing that happened in that house, though, is so my roommate's cat, his litter box was down in the basement. And so one day I opened up the basement door, and so the stairs to the basement went down, platformed, and then went down again. And so I opened the door for him, and he kind of fell and landed on the platform, and I thought, oh, well, I mean, he was an older cat, so I thought he just fell at first. But then as he went to get up, it looked like something grabbed him from the side and yanked him down to hold him down there. And he looked up at me and went, "Wah!" Like he was scared as shit. And I got him. I went down and I picked him up, and I just remember thinking something dragged that cat down those stairs and held him there. Super, super freaking creepy. But yeah, guys, that's the majority of, that's at least the creepiest stuff that I've endured, that I've seen. If you guys have any creepy ghost stories, let me know down in the comments. I'm sure I'm missing some stories that I have, but most of it happened at the house with the attic upstairs. That was mostly all of the creepy stuff that I've encountered. But yeah, let me know what creepy stuff has happened to you. Let me know if you've seen some ghosts, you've seen something weird you can't explain, some weird shit going on in your house. Yeah, yeah, other than that, guys, you have a good night, and don't let the spirits take your soul. Good night.